Firstly, mate, given the fact you were challenged in that last quarter, good that the guys could steady and get over the line this week.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the same thing sort of happened last week, but Hawthorn were able to run over the top of us. So as far as sort of a preparation thing goes, it was probably a good thing what happened to us last week for this week. So we were able to sort of stem the tide a little bit, get the ball back in our hands, and then really kick away in the last part of the quarter.
Did you talk after the game last week about ways to regain momentum if that happened again?
We did, yeah. I mean, last week we only sort of had, I think, 26% of the possession in the last quarter, so that was probably the first thing, that we need to get our hands on the ball. So coming into this week when they sort of got a bit of a run on, we needed to get some clearances first of all, but then we just needed to get our hands on the ball around the field and sort of make them chase us a little bit rather than the other way around.
Who do you think lifted in that last quarter when you really needed them?
I think, Fifey was really good, and we moved Broado and Pav into the middle to try and get some of those clearances, and those guys just with their sort of bigger bodies really helped that. We had a couple of guys that sort of moved behind the ball as well, so that helped. Everyone played a little part and it really worked for us.
Mate, happy with your own game today?
Yeah, I was. I got to spend a little bit of time behind the ball, being a little bit of a +1, which is, it's all right if things start to work, but it's not so great when they start to get a run on like that. But I was happy to sort of be able to take a few marks this week and sort of be a little bit of a part of stopping that stem that I sort of said. But I was a lot more happier this week than last.
It was a bit of a late start to the season for you. Do you feel like you're up and going now and reading the play well?
Yeah, I felt ready from the start. It's just that I hadn't played any games up until when I came in sort of round 4. But I've sort of felt fit. It's just getting used to that sort of pace of the game and just the match fitness in general. So I feel like I'm ready to go now. I sort of have felt so for a few weeks now, but every week helps.
Talk to me about Monday going down in the first quarter. Was it spoken about at quarter time at all?
No, not at all. I didn't really know that he'd gone off until sort of almost the end of the quarter. I saw Hinks was on the field, and so we'd obviously used our sub. But Clayton Hinkley played really well. I'm not really sure what happened to Barry yet. I haven't spoken to him, but I think it was a credit to Clayton to be able to come on and play like he did for probably a lot earlier than he probably thought he would have, so it was good for him.
And how important was it for the club? You'd lost, I think, 4 of your last 5 games. You were at home. It was a big game against a team one spot above you.
Yeah.
Did you talk about the significance of it coming in?
Yeah, we did. We really didn't have a very good month, the last month just gone, and playing at home against Essendon was a really good opportunity for us to get back on track. And like you mentioned, they were 7th and we were 8th, so it was a good chance for us to play a side that was around about where we were, and I think for us to be able to beat them at home, which we probably really wanted to do, was really helpful for our season as well. So to get back on track and really start to go into next week with a win would be good.
Is it the case where you feel if you can get results now, you've got guys to come back, likes of Barlow, Sandlands, there's a mix of guys that could come back over coming weeks. Is it about grinding out some results as you get personnel back?
A little bit, but we had a really good start to the season. We didn't have our full team in then, so it's just every now and again guys who are coming in and playing a few more games now and they're sort of getting the confidence to play their best footy. And like you said, if we can continue sort of get winning games at home and then we go away playing the good sort of form that we have, if we can still sort of get a few games going before our sort of Mickey Barlow and Spride and those sort of boys come back, it'll be really good for us.
Mate, 2 guys that have fairly or unfairly copped it in the media over the past month. Firstly, Matthew Pavlich. How did you see his game today and his response?
He's a champion player, and he was always. I don't really think he was in a form slump. I think he might have had 2 games that probably weren't up to his standard that he sets for himself. But to say that he was sort of out of form was probably a bit early and a little bit unfair. But he was always going to come out and play a really good game. He's the captain of our club, and he's the captain for a reason. So I had full faith, and I'm sure everybody else did.
And Michael Johnson thrown forward, and he had a real influence today.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that can play forward and back, and for him to be able to go and do that sort of role sort of so quickly and without sort of knowing what's going to happen, if he needed to go back at the last part of the quarter, he would have done it. So to be able to be a marking option up forward and then be sort of a really solid defender down back is really good to him.
Mate, I've had a quick memory blank, to be honest. You're playing next week. Melbourne, that's right. You've got, I think, is it 1 or 2 games left before the bye? Have you spoken as a club about where you want to be to that point?
No, we haven't. I think we haven't really spoken too much about Melbourne either, to be honest. We've just sort of focused on this week, and we'll go to the club tomorrow and a bit of recovery and watch the game and review the game from there, and then I suppose from Wednesday we'll think about Melbourne.
Again, a little bit like today, Melbourne are around the point, similar position on the ladder just outside the 8, so it's another one of those sort of double results. If you can beat them, you also put a bit of ground behind you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have a lot of confidence in winning today against Essendon in that same sort of 7th, 8th position. So to be able to go hopefully over to Melbourne next week and play some good footy away, and hopefully come away with a win, when it's a really good start sort of going into that bye, like I said.